The Mahabharata is an ancient, sprawling epic from India. It is not just one story, but a vast collection of many tales, like a great river fed by countless streams. Traditionally, it is said to have been composed by the sage Vyasa. He dictated this immense poem to the elephant-headed god Ganesha, who wrote it down. This epic is so large that it is often said, "What is found here may be found elsewhere, but what is not found here cannot be found anywhere else." It is a foundational text of Hindu culture, philosophy, and spirituality, offering a deep well of wisdom that has nourished generations of people for thousands of years. Its influence spreads far beyond religion, shaping art, literature, and daily life across the Indian subcontinent and beyond. At its core, the Mahabharata tells the story of a great dynastic struggle. It is a family saga filled with love, betrayal, jealousy, and sacrifice. The narrative revolves around two sets of cousins, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, who compete for the throne of Hastinapura. The Pandavas are 5 brothers, noble and righteous, while the Kauravas are 100 brothers, led by the ambitious and envious Duryodhana. Their conflict grows from childhood rivalries into a catastrophic war that involves almost every kingdom of the time. This epic explores the deepest parts of human nature, showing how even good people can make terrible mistakes and how desire can lead to ruin. It is a mirror reflecting the complexities of human relationships and societal duties. Within this grand narrative, we meet unforgettable characters who feel incredibly real. There is Arjuna, the great Pandava archer, who faces a profound moral crisis on the battlefield. He is guided by his friend and charioteer Krishna, who is an incarnation of the god Vishnu. Krishna's advice to Arjuna forms the Bhagavad Gita, a sacred text in its own right, which is a conversation about duty, action, and the nature of God. Then there is Draupadi, the strong-willed wife of the 5 Pandavas. She is a powerful queen who endures great humiliation but never loses her spirit, becoming a catalyst for the Great War. Her story highlights the struggles and strength of women in a world dominated by men. The Mahabharata is more than just a historical or mythological account. It is a guidebook for life, a complex tapestry of human drama that continues to unfold. The stories within it are designed to make us think and question our own beliefs about right and wrong. It does not offer simple answers, but instead presents situations where choices are difficult and the consequences are far-reaching. Through its characters and their dilemmas, the epic invites us to explore the meaning of Dharma, or righteous conduct, in our own lives. It shows that the path of virtue is not always clear, and that every action, big or small, has a reaction, creating a cycle of cause and effect that shapes our destiny. The central story of the Mahabharata is a tale of a kingdom torn apart by a family feud. It begins with the Kuru dynasty, which rules the kingdom of Hastinapura. 2 brothers, Dhritarashtra and Pandu, are princes of this realm. Dhritarashtra the elder is born blind, so his younger brother Pandu becomes king. Pandu has 5 sons, the Pandavas, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. Dhritarashtra, meanwhile, has 100 sons, the Kauravas, with the eldest being the proud and resentful Duryodhana. After Pandu's early death, the 5 Pandava princes are raised in the court alongside their 100 Kaurava cousins, but the seeds of conflict are sown early. Duryodhana's jealousy of the Pandavas, who are more skilled and virtuous, grows into a burning hatred. He feels that as the son of the elder brother, he is the rightful heir to the throne and sees the Pandavas as obstacles. His bitterness is fueled by his manipulative uncle Shakuni, who masterfully encourages his nephew's worst instincts. Duryodhana plots several times to harm or kill his cousins, but the Pandavas always manage to survive, often with the help of their wise uncle Vidura or their divine protector, Krishna. The tension escalates until it becomes clear that the kingdom cannot contain the ambitions of both sides. The conflict is no longer just a childhood rivalry. It has become a serious political crisis threatening to consume the entire lineage. The turning point comes during a fateful game of dice. The noble but flawed Yudhishthira, the eldest Pandava, has a weakness for gambling. Shakuni, a master of dice, challenges him to a game on behalf of Duryodhana. In this rigged game, Yudhishthira loses everything he owns: his kingdom, his wealth, his brothers, and even himself. In a final, desperate move, he wagers their shared wife, Draupadi, and loses her as well. This moment leads to one of the most harrowing scenes in the epic, where the Kauravas attempt to publicly disrobe Draupadi in the royal court. Her humiliation is a grave injustice that seals the certainty of war, as she vows to seek vengeance for the dishonor she has suffered. As a result of the dice game, the Pandavas are exiled to the forest for 13 years. During this time, they face many hardships, but also grow in strength and wisdom, forging alliances and preparing for their eventual return. They fulfill the terms of their exile, but when they come back to claim their rightful share of the kingdom, Duryodhana arrogantly refuses. He declares that he will not give them even a pinprick's worth of land without a fight. With all peaceful negotiations failing, the stage is set for the Great War. The Mahabharata shows how a single act of greed and injustice can spiral into a conflict of unimaginable scale, drawing in allies from all corners of the land to fight on the sacred field of Kurukshetra. The Kurukshetra War is the climax of the Mahabharata, a devastating conflict that lasts for 18 days. It is not just a battle for a kingdom, it is described as a Dharma Yuddha, a war for righteousness. However, the lines between right and wrong become incredibly blurry. Friends and family members find themselves on opposing sides. Great warriors like Bhishma, the grandsire of both the Pandavas and Kauravas, and Drona, their revered teacher, are forced by their allegiances to fight for the Kauravas, even though they know their cause is unjust. This tragic situation forces the characters and the reader to confront difficult questions about loyalty, duty, and personal conscience. Is it right to follow an unjust leader out of loyalty? On the battlefield, the epic explores the terrible cost of war. The narrative does not glorify violence. Instead, it details the immense suffering and destruction that it causes. The heroes on both sides perform incredible feats of valor, but their victories are often tainted by trickery and sorrow. The rules of righteous combat are broken time and again as the desire to win overtakes moral principles. Bhima kills Duryodhana by striking him below the belt, a forbidden move. Drona is killed after being tricked into believing his son is dead. These events show that in the heat of battle, even the most virtuous can lose their way, and the pursuit of victory can lead to the erosion of Dharma itself. One of the most profound lessons comes from the internal conflict of Arjuna. As the war is about to begin, Arjuna sees his beloved grandfather, his teachers, and his cousins standing in the enemy ranks. He is overcome with grief and despair, and he lays down his bow, refusing to fight. He questions the purpose of a victory that is won by killing his own kin. It is at this moment that Krishna delivers the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. He explains to Arjuna the importance of performing one's duty without being attached to the results. He teaches that action is necessary, but one must act for the sake of righteousness, not for personal gain or glory. This lesson helps Arjuna find the strength to fight for a just cause. Ultimately, the Pandavas win the war, but their victory is hollow. The battlefield is littered with the bodies of nearly everyone they have ever known and loved. The kingdom they regain is built on a foundation of loss and regret. The Mahabharata powerfully illustrates that war leaves no true victors. The aftermath is filled with sorrow as the survivors are left to grapple with the consequences of their actions. The epic serves as a timeless warning about the human cost of conflict, reminding us that even a war fought for a righteous cause brings with it an unbearable price. It teaches that the path of violence, once taken, leads to a cycle of pain that is difficult to break. The Mahabharata is much more than an ancient poem. Its relevance has not faded with time. As we see in the world today, on this day of July 25th, 2025, its themes of conflict, justice, and human fallibility are as pertinent as ever. The story of a family torn apart by greed and ambition resonates with modern political struggles and even personal disputes. The epic's exploration of Dharma forces us to look at our own lives and ask what it means to do the right thing, especially when faced with difficult choices. Its characters are not perfect heroes or villains. They are complex human beings whose struggles mirror our own. This psychological depth is why the story continues to captivate audiences worldwide. The lessons from the epic are practical and universal. The story of Yudhishthira's disastrous dice game is a powerful cautionary tale about the dangers of addiction and the importance of self-control. The unwavering loyalty of characters like Karna, who stands by the unjust Duryodhana because of a promise, makes us think about the nature of loyalty and whether it should be unconditional. Draupadi's fierce demand for justice inspires discussions about dignity and women's rights. Every incident in the Mahabharata can be seen as a case study in human behavior, offering insights that are applicable in our boardrooms, our homes, and our own hearts. The endurance of the Mahabharata is also evident in its continuous retelling and adaptation. From Peter Brook's famous stage play to modern graphic novels and television series, each generation finds a new way to connect with its stories. The recent restoration of Brook's film adaptation and its planned re-release in 2025 for his centenary shows a persistent global interest. Commentators and artists today, like the 2024 Booker Prize winner Jenny Erpenbeck, often refer to the epic to make sense of contemporary conflicts, noting that the patterns of human self-destruction are all already present in its pages. The story provides a language and a framework to understand the cycles of creation and destruction that define human history. In the end, the Mahabharata leaves us with a profound message of hope and reflection. It teaches us that life is a complex journey filled with moral ambiguities. There are no easy answers, and the path of righteousness requires constant awareness and effort. By studying the choices made by the Pandavas and the Kauravas, we can learn to make better decisions in our own lives. The epic encourages us to strive for self-awareness, to act with compassion, and to understand the far-reaching consequences of our actions. It reminds us that the greatest battle is not fought on a physical battlefield, but within our own minds, in the ongoing struggle between our noble aspirations and our baser instincts.